I was reviewing financial documents at my kitchen table when I got the notification. A new user had been added to my savings account. Someone with the username Jessica_M_2024 had been granted full access to my account containing $73,000. My heart stopped. I grabbed my phone and called the bank immediately. This is Melissa Carter. Someone just got added to my savings account without my authorization. I need this fixed now. The bank representative's voice was apologetic but firm. Miss Carter, I'm looking at the account now. The authorization was provided by, let me see, your parents? They're listed as emergency contacts and provided proper identification. They said you were traveling abroad and gave them permission to add your sister for family emergency purposes. I actually laughed. A cold, bitter laugh. I'm not traveling abroad. I'm sitting in my apartment in the same city I've lived in for 5 years. My parents had nitrogen monoxide permission to do this. Remove her access immediately. I can submit a request, but it will take 24 to 48 hours to process. 24 hours? She could drain my entire account by then. I understand your concern, but we have security protocols. However, I can place a temporary hold on all withdrawals until we verify. Do it, now, and I want documentation of everything. After I hung up, I stared at my phone in disbelief. My parents had given my sister Jessica access to my savings account. The account I'd built over 8 years of working as a software engineer. The account with my emergency fund, my down payment savings, my entire financial safety net. I shouldn't have been surprised. This was exactly the kind of thing my parents would do. Jessica needed money? Take it from Melissa. Jessica couldn't manage her finances. Give her access to Melissa's. Jessica made poor choices? Melissa should fix them. I'd been the responsible one my entire life. The one who worked through college while Jessica partied. The one who had a career while Jessica bounced from job to job. The one who saved money while Jessica spent everything on designer clothes and expensive trips she couldn't afford. And my parents had decided without asking me that my money should be available to her. I opened my laptop and logged into my account. The hold was already in place. No transactions could occur for 48 hours while the bank investigated. Good, that gave me time. I spent the next hour making calls. First, to a different bank across town. I need to open a new savings account today, and I need to transfer a large sum immediately. By 4 p.m., I'd opened a new account at a completely different bank, one my parents didn't know about, one they weren't listed on as emergency contacts, one that Jessica would never have access to. Then I initiated the transfer, all $73,000 from my old account to my new one. The transfer would complete by end of business the next day. I sat back and smiled. By the time my parents and Jessica realized what I'd done, my old account would contain exactly $12.37, the minimum balance required to keep it open. My phone buzzed, a text from Mom. Hi, sweetie. Dad and I need to talk to you about something important. Can you come by for dinner tomorrow? I texted back, sure. Looking forward to it. Let them think everything was fine. Let them think their plan had worked. Let them believe they'd successfully given Jessica access to my money. Tomorrow was going to be very interesting. I arrived at my parents' house at 6 p.m. sharp, wearing my most innocent smile. Mom answered the door with an overly bright expression that immediately confirmed my suspicions. She knew exactly what she'd done and was trying to act normal about it. Melissa, come in, come in. Jessica's already here. Of course she was. This was an ambush disguised as a family dinner. Jessica sat in the living room, looking smug. She'd always had that expression when she thought she was getting away with something. When we were kids, it was stealing my toys. In high school, it was taking my clothes. Now, apparently, it was my money. Hey sis, she said with fake sweetness. Long time no see. Hey Jess, how've you been? Oh, struggling a bit. But things are looking up. She exchanged a meaningful glance with Mom. Dad came in from the kitchen and we all sat down to dinner. The first 20 minutes were painfully normal small talk about work, weather, neighborhood gossip. I played along perfectly, waiting for the real conversation to start. Finally, as Mom served dessert, Dad cleared his throat. "Melissa, there's something we need to discuss. As a family." "Sure, Dad, what's up?" He and Mom exchanged a look. "Your sister is going through a difficult time financially. Her car broke down, she's behind on rent, and she's got some credit card debt that's accumulated." "I'm sorry to hear that." "Jess, that sounds stressful." Jessica leaned forward, her eyes glistening with performative tears. "It's been so hard, Melissa. I feel like I'm drowning. I've been working so hard but I just can't seem to get ahead." Working hard, right. Last I checked, Jessica was working part-time at a boutique because full-time work was too demanding. "Your father and I have been talking," Mom continued, "and we think the best solution is for Jessica to stay with us for a while to save on rent, and for you to help her with her debts." "Help her how?" I asked innocently. "Well," Dad said carefully, "we know you have savings. Quite a bit of it. And Jessica needs maybe 30 or 40,000 to really get back on her feet. Pay off her debts, get her car fixed, have a cushion while she looks for better employment." I took a sip of water, buying time. "That's a lot of money. But you have it," Jessica said quickly, "and I'd pay you back. Eventually, when I'm doing better." "We've actually already taken the liberty of adding Jessica to your savings account," Mom said, as if she was announcing something helpful. "So she can access the funds when she needs them without having to bother you constantly." I set down my water glass very carefully. "You did what?" "We added her to your account," Dad repeated. "Don't worry, we used our emergency contact access. It's all legal. And it's for family, Melissa. This is what family does, we help each other." "When were you planning to tell me about this?" "We're telling you now," Mom said, looking slightly defensive. "We didn't think you'd mind. You're always so generous." "Generous is when someone asks and I choose to help. This is called stealing." "Stealing?" Jessica's voice went shrill. "How is family helping family stealing? Because it's my money. That I earned, that I saved. And you gave her access without my permission." The temperature in the room dropped about 20 degrees. Dad's face hardened. "Melissa, don't be dramatic. We're family. What's yours is meant to be shared when someone is in need." "Really? So when I was in college working 2 jobs to pay my tuition, where was this family sharing policy? When I was eating ramen and sleeping 4 hours a night, who shared with me?" "That was different," Mom said quickly. "You were always so capable. You didn't need help." "I didn't need help?" "Or you just assumed I'd figure it out while you continued funding Jessica's lifestyle." "That's not fair." Jessica stood up, face flushed. "You've always had everything easy. Good grades, good job, good salary. Some of us struggle." "I struggle too, Jessica. I just don't expect other people to fix my problems for me." "Girls, please," Dad started. "No, Dad, let's talk about this. You gave Jessica access to my account yesterday, right?" They nodded. "And you expected her to withdraw $30,000 or $40,000 to get back on her feet?" "We expected her to take what she needed," Mom said. "You have plenty." I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. "Here's the thing. That account you gave her access to? I emptied it yesterday." The silence was deafening. "What?" Jessica whispered. "The second I got the notification that someone had been added to my account without my permission, I transferred every penny to a new account, at a different bank. One that none of you have access to. One you're not listed on as emergency contacts." Jessica grabbed her phone and frantically opened her banking app. I watched her face change from confusion to shock to fury as she saw the balance. "There's only $12. She screamed. $12.37, I corrected. "The minimum balance required to keep the account open. You can't do that." Mom stood up, her chair scraping loudly. That money is for family emergencies. It's my money. For my emergencies, not Jessica's shopping habits. How could you be so selfish? Dad's voice was cold with disappointment. Your sister came to us desperately needing help, and you empty your account to spite her. I didn't empty it to spite her. I emptied it to protect it from theft, which is what this is. You committed fraud by accessing my account under false pretenses. You gave unauthorized access to a third party. I could report you to the bank and probably the police. Jessica's tears were real now. I can't believe you do this to me. I'm your sister. I needed that money. Then maybe you should have asked me instead of having Mom and Dad steal it for you. We weren't stealing. Mom's voice was shrill now. We were facilitating family support. Without my knowledge or consent. That's stealing, Mom. Just with extra steps. So that's it? Dad asked. You're just going to let your sister lose her apartment, lose her car, end up on the street. Jessica won't end up on the street. She end up here living with you, which is apparently already the plan. And she figure out her finances the same way I had to, by working hard and making better choices. Get out, Mom said quietly. If you're going to be this cruel to your own sister, you can leave. Gladly. I grabbed my purse and headed to the door. Oh, and just so we're clear, don't ever access my accounts again. I've removed you both as emergency contacts. And I filed a complaint with the bank about the unauthorized access. The next 3 weeks were silent. No calls, no texts, no family group chat messages. I'd been effectively disowned for the crime of protecting my own money. I should have felt guilty. Part of me did. But a larger part felt relieved, free, like I'd finally cut a rope that had been dragging me down for years. My new account sat safely in a bank across town, untouched and secure. I changed all my passwords, updated all my security settings, and even consulted with a lawyer about protecting my assets from family interference. You did the right thing, my lawyer said. What they did was technically legal since they were listed as emergency contacts, but it was ethically wrong and possibly fraudulent depending on what they told the bank. They told the bank I was traveling abroad and gave them permission. That's fraud. You could press charges if you wanted to. I didn't want to. I just wanted to be left alone. Then, 3 weeks after the dinner, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Melissa? It's Dad. I stayed silent. Look, I want to apologize for what we did. It wasn't right. No, it wasn't. Your mother and I have been talking, a lot, about how we've treated you over the years. About how we've always expected you to be the responsible one, the one who solves problems, the one who sacrifices. And we see now that it wasn't fair. We've been enabling Jessica her whole life while taking you for granted. We assumed you'd always just handle things, fix things, pay for things. I'm not an ATM, Dad. I know that now. We've actually been in family therapy, all 3 of us. Your mother, me, and Jessica. That surprised me. Jessica agreed to therapy? She didn't have much choice. She moved in with us, and we made it a condition of her staying here. She had to get therapy and get her finances under control. How's that going? Slowly. But she's making progress. She got a full-time job. She's on a payment plan for her debts. She's learning to budget. And she's realizing that she can't just expect other people to rescue her. That's good. The therapist said something that really hit home. She said we've been treating you like you're invulnerable. Like you don't have needs or feelings or limits. Like you're just this infinite resource that we can draw from forever. My throat tightened. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. I'm sorry, Melissa. I'm really truly sorry for all of it. For giving Jessica access to your account. For not respecting your boundaries. For taking you for granted for so many years. I appreciate you saying that, Dad. Can you forgive us, eventually? I don't know. Maybe, but things have to change. Really change. Not just apologies, and then going right back to the same patterns. I understand. What would you need to see from us? Respect for my boundaries. No more access to my accounts, my property, my life without explicit permission. No more assuming I'll just fix Jessica's problems. No more treating my money like it's family money. Done. Anything else? I need time. To trust you again. To believe that things are really different. We can give you that. And Melissa? Your mother wants to talk to you too. And Jessica. When you're ready. I'll think about it. After we hung up, I sat on my couch for a long time processing. An apology was a start, but words were easy. Actions would show me if anything had really changed. 2 months later, I agreed to meet them for coffee. Neutral territory, public place, 1 hour maximum. I wasn't ready to forgive completely, but I was willing to listen. Mom looked older than I remembered, tired. Thank you for meeting us, she said as I sat down. Jessica was next to her, and for the first time in our lives, she didn't look smug or entitled. She looked humbled. I owe you an apology, Jessica started. A real one. Not the fake ones I've given before when I just wanted something from you. I'm listening. I've been in therapy for 2 months now. Individual therapy, not just family sessions. And I'm realizing how much I've used you, how much I've expected you to bail me out, how much I've resented you for being successful while simultaneously depending on that success to fund my lifestyle. That must have been hard to face. It was. It is. Every session I uncover another way I've been entitled and selfish. Did you know I genuinely believed I deserved your money? Like, I actually thought that because we're sisters and you make more than me, you owed it to me. That's honestly messed up, Jess. I know. My therapist says I've been enabled my whole life and never had to face real consequences. So I just kept expecting everyone else to fix my problems. Mom spoke up. That's on us. Your father and I enabled her. We enabled that thinking. We taught her that she could always fall back on family, specifically on you, instead of teaching her to stand on her own. We also taught you, Dad added, that you couldn't rely on us. That you had to be strong and independent and never need help. And that wasn't fair either. I felt tears stinging my eyes. I did need help. I needed help in college. I needed help when I was starting my career and barely making rent. I needed emotional support during my breakup last year. But I never asked because I knew the answer would be figure it out yourself. I'm so sorry, Mom whispered. We failed you. We took your strength for granted and called it self-sufficiency. We sat in silence for a moment. Then Jessica spoke again. I got a promotion at work. Full-time benefits, better pay. I've paid off 3 of my credit cards. I'm on track to have my car paid off in 6 months, and I'm doing it myself. No bailouts. No rescue missions. I'm proud of you, Jess. I also opened a savings account. It only has $800 in it right now, but it's mine. I'm building my own emergency fund instead of assuming I can just use yours. That's good. Really good. I want to pay you back, Jessica said. For all the money you lent me over the years that I never paid back. It's going to take me a while, but I made a list with our therapist. Every loan, every borrowing incident, everything. It comes to about $12,000 total. I was stunned. Jessica, I never expected. I know you didn't, but I'm expecting it of myself now, because that's what growth looks like. That's what taking responsibility looks like. Mom reached across the table and took my hand. Can we try again? As a family? With new rules and real respect for boundaries? I looked at the 3 of them, my parents looking genuinely remorseful, my sister looking genuinely committed to change, and felt something shift in my chest. We can try, I said. But if anyone accesses my accounts without permission again, I'm done. Permanently. Understood, Dad said firmly. And documented. We've actually signed a family agreement with our therapist outlining everyone's boundaries and consequences for violating them. You signed a contract? We needed the structure, Mom admitted. We needed something concrete to hold us accountable because words hadn't been enough. 3 months later, Jessica made her first payment toward the $12,000 she owed me. $100 transferred directly to my account with a note. Month 1 of 120. Thank you for not giving up on me, even when I gave up on myself. 6 months later, we had Thanksgiving together. It was different than before. There were clear boundaries. There were explicit conversations about who was paying for what. There was respect. During dinner, Mom raised her glass. I want to make a toast to Melissa, who taught us that love doesn't mean having no boundaries. It means respecting them. And to Jessica I added, who's teaching us that change is possible when you're willing to do the work? Jessica raised her glass, tears in her eyes. And to family, the real kind, where everyone carries their own weight and no one's expected to carry it all. We clinked glasses, and for the first time in years, it felt real. Not perfect. Not fixed. But real. My bank account sat safely in my control, untouched by anyone but me. And my family finally was learning to respect that. Learning to respect me. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is protect what's yours. Not out of selfishness, but out of self-respect. And sometimes, the people who fight your boundaries the hardest are the ones who needed them most.